enters, you know, this story of these people living in nature. And I want to say that was February or when I started watching. And I didn't even really know what it was I was watching, but it got really interesting, as I'm sure a lot of you understand who also have been watching. And, you know, it was just something to pass the time. And then I started seeing, you know, what I considered to be, you know, oppression and, you know, bullying of these people and, and then so they'd end up getting run out of town or whatever. And I was like, you know, and they had baby Eliana at that point. And I was like, I felt some sort of way, like I was feeling like I was baby Eliana. And, you know, there was these potential white men, you know, bad men, government people that were going to come and try to take her away from her daddy and take her away from the nature. And so I became baby Eliana. So I wanted to save her, and I wanted to keep her with her family and keep her in nature and keep her safe. And, you know, it developed into more than that. You know, I started to get to know, Eligio, and, we've been talking since, I think, probably February when I, sent a message out to him. And, we, for whatever it's worth, he and I became very close. I mean, we were talking since, February or March or whatever, every day from morning till night, like all day long. And, I became very close to him. It wasn't in a sexual way. I just became very close to him, and I cared about them. I cared especially about baby Eliana. I love that little baby so much, you guys. Get to the point. Aww. So anyway, so that's how I came to know of carbonation. Yes, the baby is beautiful. So, that's some of my story. And, now I think, okay, so why I kicked them out. Okay, well, let me go back a little bit. So, all right, so there was a point where they were going to release Chief from the, political prison, but he needed a plane ticket, like, before, the end of the business day, and then they would let him out. So, I was contacted, and they said, will you buy us a ticket, buy a ticket for Chief and me, because that was Nana, and to go to the States, because he was getting deported. He just needed to go to the States. So they had, they had a certain place they needed to go to meet with the lawyers and things here stateside. And so they met me. They met me in San Francisco, and we met with the lawyer, and then we stayed a couple days, and then we headed down south. And so there was a couple stops we had to make to get to where we were going. And in the airport, when we were all together in the airport, and Chief wasn't feeling well because he had like a bad ulcer in his stomach, and he was just like laying on the floor, like moaning in pain, like he was really not feeling well. And I was just like in a good mood. I was happy that like they were safe and, together. I was happy that I was like helping them. And I was showing him a picture of one of my friends, like, oh, look, this is my friend. I want her to come visit us, one day. And, like, oh my gosh, the mood just turned, and like Nana was like, oh, And he was like, are you gonna bring her as a wife? And I was like, ooh, like, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just like happy. I was in a good mood. I was just looking. I was showing him my friend. And I was like, well, I don't know, like, whatever, you know, she's just my friend. And then I was like, well, and I could feel that there was like some tension. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna, you know, go for a minute. And anyway, so I came back and like, I don't know, we had to have like a meeting, a talk about like what I did and how that offended Nana and this and that. And I was like, dude, I was like, I'm never going to show you any pictures of girls ever again. Don't worry. And so like, he didn't really like my response because, you know, I tell people how it is. So he already, I was having problems and we weren't even out of the airport. So I was just like, okay, well, I knew for sure, okay, I definitely won't show him any pictures of women in front of Nana. So whatever. So I was over that. So then in the hotel that night, the night that everything kind of really went bad, it was like, you know, I had my own bed. They had their own bed, okay? And, you know, we were all getting along okay that night. But, you know, and there was nothing really that was, like, really gonna happen. Like, I mean, he went and took a shower, okay? And I was just sitting over on the bed. And Nana, like, stands up and just starts staring, like, staring at the wall. And I was like, are you okay? And she's like, she just stared, just kept staring straight ahead. And I was like, what the fuck? And then so Chief starts calling her, like, to come into the bathroom and help him or whatever, get out of the shower. And she just didn't answer. And he was like, you know, he kept calling her and she didn't answer. So I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck is going on, you guys? And then so finally he gets out and he's like, what's wrong with you? And she's like, I don't want to be here anymore. And he's like, why? What's going on? And she's like, just take her. Just take your ring and go be with Khadijah if that's what you want. He's like, I'm not even doing anything. I haven't even done anything with her, which is true. We didn't do anything. I hugged him when I first saw them in the airport. We all did a group hug. That's the only physical contact we were having. It was so ridiculous. Like, I mean, even if there was like a little flirtation in the air or something, like there was nothing that we had actually done. There was nothing. It was just all energy, and it was mostly all in her head. But anyway, so he started talking to her, and she was like getting her backpack on and packing up everything. She takes the baby. Finally, she's like, I don't want to be here. Fuck you. And so she opens the hotel door, which, yeah, I had paid for that hotel room. That's my hotel room. My name is on it. I'm responsible for it, right? So she goes out, you know, whipping the baby around, you know how she does in her arm, because she's not going to let that baby go. She goes out into the hallway, you know, the door shuts behind, and I can hear because the elevators are right there out the door. And she's like, fuck you. And she's just pounding, like, boom, like punching holes in the fucking wall, pounding the metal hotel, the elevator door, kicking shit, you know. And true, I wasn't visibly seeing that, but I could hear it, and she was doing all that with the baby in her arms, you guys. So number one, that's not right there, okay? So I was already pissed off, but you know, I was just sitting there, I was seeing how it played out, you know. I mean, I was hoping that like the hotel people didn't call the police. I didn't know what was gonna happen, but I was pissed off. Because, you know, you don't do things like that. You don't disrespect people like that in their room. Yes, it was my room, okay? And so, hold on, I will. I'll get to phone calls in a little bit. So anyway, so she's, you know, just cursing and screaming like she's possessed. And he's like, what are you doing, Ileana? You can't be doing that. And I was like, oh my God, these people. It was like an episode of Jerry Springer out there. It was ridiculous. And so finally he he grabs her back inside the room or whatever, and he's like, now stand there and let me talk to you. So he talked her, he calmed her down after a while, after some time. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm pissed off. So I just wanted to see, I was like, is he going to throw her out? Like, what is he going to do? Like, but no, I mean, that was never what he was going to do. But I was, I was just watching, seeing how it played out. So then he calms her down and he's like, whatever. And I was like, he was like, okay, come on and sit down. Like, everything's fine. And I was like, no. I said, no, everything is not fine. I said, now that you're done talking to her and I see that you're not going to do anything to, fix the situation or correct your woman, then I guess I'll handle it. So I said, you need to leave to her. And, she was just like, she was already in like, submissive mode because he had already put her there. So she wasn't talking. She was just quiet. And then I was like, what are you guys fucking looking at? Get the fuck out. And she was like, oh, hell no, bitch. And she comes, and I'm like laying down, I'm on the bed like this. And she comes whipping around, and I'm thinking, what the fuck is she gonna do to me? But no, she pretended like she was trying to get at me, and I just kind of sat on the bed, kind of smiling and laughing at her, but, whatever. So me and her, we're having like a yelling match. And I told her, I said, I'm going to tell you what's going on right now. And I laid it out for her. I said, look, you got it in your head that me and Chief was going to, be doing something, and you didn't like that because you felt that it was coming. So you threw a tantrum and, stormed off through the ring, acted all a fool in the hallway of the hotel, punched the wall, and then, now he's all tending to you and, and now that he's calmed you down, you're going to be all like cuddly and, he's going to be paying attention to you. So you had it all figured out. I said, good game, checkmate. And he was like all pissed off because he knew that I was telling the truth. We all knew it. And so she was trying to fight me and coming at me and stuff, but half-heartedly because, she never even got to the end of the bed. So eventually, whatever, he talked to me for like 3 hours and like made me sit there and listen to him about why, we shouldn't, ruin this and that, and that, Nana was young and she's just having an episode. And I was like, after a while, he just talks to you and talks to you and talks to you for so long, you're just like, just shut up already, fine, whatever, I'll let it go. I figured, well, this was going to be the first and only time I'm going to let that happen. I said that to myself, and I meant it, because when I say something, then I mean it. So, they didn't know that. I didn't say, this is the only time this is going to happen, because the next time I'm throwing your asses out for real. Because he was like, you've invested so much money into this journey, and, the whole thing was, I was going to go down there with them, kind of like as, they would be like my friends, my protectors. I was going to go down there and scope out some land, and find maybe a good investment, a little chunk of real estate that would be mine, but I would let them stay on while I came back here and tended to my business. I'd see, okay, let's see what they can do with the place. Let's see if they can really do this living in nature and make it beneficial to all of us. I didn't see anything wrong with that. That was my intention. And I always made that clear to them, is that I wanted some partners to go down there, people that basically, I could go down there, I could feel safe around, and, that knew already about living in nature, so they would kind of, we would be beneficial to each other. It would be a good partnership, I thought. So that was why we were all together. And so, I just wanted to let it go for the night, so I did. We went out, we walked around the town for a little bit. It was really late, so we came back to the room. And then, so, it was really late. I was trying to go to sleep, and I assumed they were going to go to sleep, And the little baby Eliana, she was like crying and carrying on. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, I'm laying over on my bed. You know, they're on their bed with, you know, whining baby Eliana. Like, if they wanted to do something, be intimate, like, I mean, all they had to do was come over and say, hey, you know, hey, can you, you know, will you lay here with the baby, you know, put the baby to sleep? And I could have fallen asleep. Me and the baby could have fallen asleep together there. And they could have waited for us to fall asleep, and they could have done whatever. I mean, I would have no problem with that. Okay? But no, they didn't. Instead, they turned the music up, and baby Eliana's like over there, and then they're, you know, and then I started hearing slurping and moaning fucking noises, dude. And I was like, at first I was thinking, is that the baby nursing on Nana, or what am I hearing exactly? And then I was like, oh my God. And like, and then she says like, oh, this baby's never gonna settle down. But then, you know, 5 seconds later, you know, like, you know, and it's like, oh my God, are you freaking serious? So I was like, well, I need to stop this, because I was just traumatized. Like, I was laying there thinking like, well, if I'm feeling this way, how's the baby feeling? So I got up and like, you know, started like pacing back and forth, like, cause I was just trying to like give them the hint, like, stop it, you know, there's people awake watching you, you know? And then, so Chifa's like, what's your problem? And I was like, I can't go to sleep. I'm taking this melatonin pills. And he was like, you shouldn't be taking that. I was like, well, stop having sex and keeping me and the baby up. And he was like, oh, hell no, what? I can't get my dick sucked? I was like, ew. I was like, what the hell, dude? You just do that in front of people? You do that in front of me? You do that in front of the baby? Like, and you know, so immediately they like got up, you know, they were like, you know, he was like, I don't believe you're doing this to me again. I thought we settled all this earlier. I was like, no. I was like, this is not going to work out. I was like, you guys need to leave. He's like, you're just going to throw us out. You're just going to throw her out and throw me out in the middle of the night with the baby. I said, no, you don't have to leave with the baby. I said, you can leave the baby here with me if you're so worried about it. And he was like, what? I was like, whatever. I said, you're thinking I'm throwing the baby out. I'm not throwing the baby out. I said, you guys can leave. I'll hold on to the baby. And so, of course, you know, they weren't going to leave me the baby, but I wanted them to know that it was unacceptable. So, yeah. So they left. And, yeah. Thank you. I love you guys. I'm telling the truth. Do you guys want me to read some of the questions that you guys, it was only, how much money? I'd say like $5,000 or so, maybe a little bit more than that. It was nothing. I mean, it's only $5,000. Okay, I'm going to read some of these questions. Okay? All right, so, yeah, some of them are repetitive, so I'm not going to, like, kind of read the same ones that would have the same answers, but I'll try to read some that are good questions I think that everybody would want to hear the answers to. Yeah, you know what? I never got good vibes from Nana as far as, how can I put this? Her genuine mothering, like her natural intuitiveness to love and want to care for your child. Like, she was going through the actions. She was breastfeeding a lot, and you know, she would hold the baby a lot and breastfeed. So technically, she wasn't doing anything wrong, but it was more like she was just holding and feeding the baby. I didn't really feel a good bonded vibe, but that's just, you know, my short time there. So, okay, I'm gonna read these now. Am I okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you. Where am I from? I'm from New York. I was raised in New York, so I'd say after my 5 years in the wilderness, so I was born in nature. That's what I would say. But I'm from New York. I was raised in New York until I was a teenager. And then my parents, well, my mother and my stepfather, my evil stepfather, they brought me to the West Coast. And, yeah, no nurturing the baby. I mean, no, not really. Like, I know that when I got there, when I went to Nicaragua and spent time with the family before Chief was in the prison, I noticed that all of a sudden, I mean, I loved that little baby because I was always like loving on her and playing peekaboo and like talking to her, and she was always smiling, and she was just a sweet little sweetheart. I mean, what a precious little child. She really deserves, a really happy and healthy, normal life. That's what I would say. No, we were never in New York City. We were in San Francisco. I'm a Leo with the Cancer moon. Where did Syria come in? I heard that too. That I was from Syria and that I was a foreign Muslim. I am a Muslim, mashallah, alhamdulillah. I am a Muslim, and before I went to the carbonation group, that was one of the things that Chief had kind of discouraged, that I, so I decided that, so I could, better adjust to the group, that was probably a good idea for my own sake, because I didn't want to be like the only one that was like the Muslim and hijab and stuff. When you kicked him out? No, we left San Francisco. We went all the way down south. No, they didn't take any money from me. No, I bought things for us, like I bought the hotel room. I bought, some plane tickets. I didn't have to do any of those things. I wanted to. I volunteered it because I wanted to see how it all played out. I wanted to help them. I had promised that I was going to help them, and I did. Yeah, they're vegan. They're definitely vegan. Even the Chinese food, everybody's always asked about the Chinese food. The Chinese food was vegan. Yeah, no, they don't mess around. When it comes to their diet, these people do not mess around. I'm really admirable of how strict they are in their dietary beliefs. And I admire them for that. Would you video chat with him to clear things up? I think eventually. I don't think right now. We're in the South America. I'm not going to continue to help them financially but they eat eggs. Well, here's the thing. The pregnant women were eating eggs a couple months ago, or breastfeeding women, and so he was letting the girls eat eggs for a while, and I was like really happy about that, because I was like, good job, they're going to be able to gain weight and stuff. So I started eating eggs too, and then I got a little bit more chubby, but then when I just was with them just now on our travels, we were at the breakfast in the hotel, and he came to the table, and I had like a little thing of, it was mostly, potatoes and fruit, but I had a little thing of eggs on my plate, and I had a cup of coffee, and he was like, what's that, Khadijah? You eating eggs and drinking coffee? Oh my gosh, you would have think I was like the most naughtiest girl in the world. I was like, it's just a little coffee. I don't know, so they're in South America. I'm not going to ever give their location or anything, but Tron wouldn't eat a pulled pork sandwich, no. What do you think about the nursing passing the baby from tit to tit? She only nurses the baby. Nobody else does. My real name is Khadijah. I do. I live right by Mexico. I live like on the Mexico border. No, I guess he told me that carbonation didn't drink coffee because it was like, what's that called? It has caffeine in it. It has, you know, it's not amphetamine. What is that called? What is it called? Caffeine. It's like a stimulant. Stimulant, yes. I didn't say anything spectacular. I'm sorry, I don't know. Acidic then. No. I mean, no, they're not. Stimulant, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna read some more. Okay. Okay, does Velvet still get an SSI check? No, Velvet, as far as I know, Velvet doesn't get anything. Did I go there to take Eliana's place as chiefess? No. Are you going live? Yes. Okay, hold on. Was I in love with Eligio? I did love him, yes. I still do love him. But, man, I'm telling you, that girl, she's something, man. She is something. She's really, she's the poison of the group. That's just how it is. I mean, and I didn't even really have a problem with her, but her immature, like, she's mature in so many ways. Like, I mean, her maturity as far as, like, she puts up with a lot of crap. She's only 22 years old, but she's really immature and really evil in other ways. Like, I mean, just about all that. Like, she basically ruined her whole, like, hopes of, like, getting a plot of land and everything, because that was gonna be on me. Like, she had a temper tantrum and ruined it for them. Like, they don't have my help. I was there to buy land. The next day we were going to look at the land, and she blew it. She blew it. You hear that, Chief? Your wife, she blew it. I'm sorry, man. You need to get rid of her. Okay. Am I still following carbonation? No, I blocked all of them immediately when I put them out of the room, because I knew that if I didn't block them, they would block me first, and I was like, no, I'm not going to let them have any more control over me, or let them think that I'm letting him control me, because I wasn't. He knew that, but there was a certain point he had to, like, maintain his, you know, manhood and, you know, look like he was in control in front of Eliana, or I think she would have lost, you know, whatever respect she had for him. Do I regret reaching out to Chief? No, not at all. He said you knew before he went to jail. Is he a pedophile? I don't think he's a pedophile. I mean, short of the making love on the bed with the baby. I mean, that was that was not right. But I wouldn't call him a pedophile because of that. I had a talk with him at one point, and I told him, you know, if anybody ever over there in carbonation, you or anybody ever touched my kids, my daughter, I'll fucking kill you. And he knew. I don't fuck around. I was serious. And I could tell by his answer that he was an innocent person as far as that went. Now, you know, now here comes this day, and, you know, I see the incident of them, you know, doing stuff on the bed with the baby awake and fussing. That's not okay, and that could be, at the very least, it's just not okay. So, they're saying I was jealous? No, I wasn't jealous. Definitely not jealous. Okay, can we call in? Yeah, I'm going to do that in a minute. Let me just look through these questions. Okay, hold on. Is Eliana as mean as everyone says? She was wonderful until that last day when she started flipping out. Where are you from and what is your ethnicity? I am Ukrainian, Irish, German, Russian, some like Persian, like from the border of Iran and Afghanistan, and Native American, and other variety of European. Okay, let's see now. Okay, you thought you could buy your position? My position is what? I had the option to claim whatever position I wanted. It was just a matter of me, going for it. That's not what I wanted. I didn't want her place. I'm not going to be anybody's second best. I was there to go into the nature with this group of people who I thought, were going to be at least cool to hang out with. But I mean, Eliana and her episodes or whatever they call them, I couldn't handle that. So no, it just, there's no hard feelings. Oh, am I a pill popper? No, I take a blood pressure, 25 milligram blood pressure. I have to take one in the morning and one at night because I've just overly high blood pressure for a girl my age. And so it's called metoprolol tartrate, 25 milligrams. And if there's any medical professionals here, I'm sure you'll know that that's like a really mild blood pressure. Her name is Velvet. Well, she doesn't prefer to be called that, so I mean, there's no need for me to be cruel to a girl, and call her by a name that she doesn't answer to. We are vegan. I mean, I was vegan when I was there, but metoprolol. Yeah, I was living, and let me say, when I was in Nicaragua with them, the carbonation with Minus Chief, these people, they were solid. They were wonderful people, caring, very nice, the men were like basically serving and worshiping the women of the group. I mean, just really respectful. I felt just nothing but love from them. And especially the guys, they were just so respectful and so intelligent. And, they don't really even interact with the women in the group, except for there's a couple of couples there. And so the women, the wives, we all stayed in one room and hung out there all day in the room together. And then the other girls, they would come and go and stuff, and then they would cook and bring us food, and then the guys would do all of the hard cleaning and packing and moving and doing all things. They were just really nice, respectful people. I have nothing bad to say about the carbonation people. Yeah, Aya's with them. Everybody's with them. How old am I? I'm 38. No, I think Joy's going back soon. I haven't followed them in about, I don't know, several days, so I have everybody blocked. But as far as I know, Joy was heading back there soon. How is Sheba's baby? He was born prematurely. Very prematurely, actually. And, I think that he's going to have a little bit of a developmental delay. But, he's still little. So it's like when I was there, even though he was, a month old or something, it was like he was still supposed to be in the womb. And so, Allah bless him. He's just a little baby. He can't help it. And I think that he'll be fine, inshallah. Oh, you thought I was older, that I was 45? How come he lets me take pills? Well, because I don't follow what rules some man gives me. He lost that control when he tried to tell me that I needed to proclaim that I was God. So I ran with that. And I told him, hey, I've got these blood pressure pills, and I'm going to take them twice a day, see? And he was like, oh, do you think you really need that? I said, do you want me to die of a heart attack? And he was like, no. So, he's not stupid. Come on. No, Sheba had a C-section. I've seen the scar on her little belly. No, she really had a C-section. Yeah, I'll tell you anything. Ask me anything. No, I was going to buy some land there. We've been planning it for about 6 months, Chief and I. Am I getting tested for STDs? No, I'm not sexually active. Hey, I was going with the flow. If he wanted to call me his wife, then, that was fine with me. Do they take showers? Daily? Most of the girls, I would say, I saw them showering every day. I did. Did they talk about Mama Dia? They talked nicely of her. Like, they would say, oh, remember when Mama Dia did this? Like, they seemed like they were, very fond of her and had good memories. It wasn't, there was no talk about, anything like y'all talk about it was just, you guys, she went in there, she had, this is, from what I feel about the situation, from what I know of them, but this is just my opinion, is that, I think that, Eligio, when sometimes if you don't get him to pay attention and say, look, like I did, I said, I have these medications and I need to take them, twice a day. And he was kind of like, you don't need that. I was like, do you want me to have a heart attack and die? And he was like, no, you know what I mean? That definitely got to him. So I think that in Mama Dia's case, that I could see him just casually saying like, oh, we don't take medication here. And perhaps, somebody who's not really sure, like, hey, that's really an important thing. Like, you want to just kind of, okay, whatever. It's not going to be important. I can see that would happen. And, it's really easy. You have a little bit of a high blood pressure or a heart problem. You think that, probably living it with fresh air and food could probably, why would I have high blood pressure anymore, right? Because, I might have even thought that after a while, if I felt okay. And, but I could see how that could be a thing. And then, you just don't wake up one day. I definitely don't think that they had anything to do with, murdering her or purposely not letting her take her pills. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all. Like, you just have to basically say, hey, this is what I need to do, and you're not going to tell me not to. Because he didn't try to tell me to do what to do. He might have suggested things, but I just looked at him like, I'm going to do what I want to do. Oh, Madonna. I love Madonna. Back when I was like in grade school, I dressed up like Lucky Star Madonna for Halloween one year. Yeah, that was good. Remember Lucky Star Madonna? Oh, that was an awesome outfit. He told her to stop taking her meds. I didn't personally have that talk with him, so. Yeah, he might like him weaker than me, but that was never a problem. He always pretty much let me do whatever I wanted to do, and even Nana was like, it makes me angry when she was telling me after she had her punching the hole in the wall episode in the hotel. She was like, what really upsets me about you, Khadijah, is that Chief is he holds you up on a pedestal, and he lets you do anything you want, and he's never been like this with any other wife. And I was like, yeah. But, that was nice. That was nice to hear that I was special. You guys keep saying it was my money. It was not really that much money, and it was no big deal. They had their own money too. They were getting donations. You guys know what? They're getting donations from DreamWorks Studio in Hollywood, $5,000 at a time. From major companies, they're giving them donations. So, yeah, I did tell him to leave the baby with me. Because at first, when I first threw her out, when I first told Nana to leave after she had started punching holes in the wall, holding the baby in the hallway, I said, get the F out of my room. I said, this is not allowed. And she goes, what about the baby? And he was like, you're just going to throw my baby out in the middle of the night? I said, no, the baby doesn't have to go. I wanted that baby safe and healthy. Why would a company donate to them? I think my idea is because they get requests to do shows, movies, documentary series. I think that probably there's companies that want to show them hey, look, we're supporting you.